Hey all, this is Xenoxis, and this is the Xenoxis show for the 30th of July 25. We're back with Gran Turismo. I did play something else for a while, from continuing the recording. So yeah, we're gonna try the Tokyo 600 again. Uh, and I mean, we got third place last time, but that was definitely because I didn't do things properly. And it might have been that they know that they have like changed the fuel consumption of the car. That could very much be the case. So we have changed the sport softs. We still have that on the back there, but we have the front instead doing the most of the braking. And I think that should probably do it. Now, technically, you could turn down the engine and maybe consume less fuel. That could be something, but probably not. So let's try with that. Right, so let's start with this. Okay, so we want to have that at the weak, and then maybe traction control 2 at the start instead of 1, just to try and avoid sliding. I'm going to try to run with 6 all the time here, basically, and stuff that, just to try and be a bit more, of the thing, as to try and be more fuel saving thing. Yeah. It is weird though that when like this is actually changing the recording to only be 1080p because this is a higher 5 frame rate. I'm actually doing 120 and stuff that. But does that mean that I'm not actually having 4K now? Stuff that I'm not like under the effect of the HDR when you're running 120 mode. That seems like really bad. Like why couldn't you run like 4K in like 120 and stuff that, because the TV should support it, but yeah. So I'm doing actually way better with these tires and stuff that. Right, we're running with the TCS too. The thing is, for example, if we can reach high enough top speed with the power set on lean and 6, for example, then things will be very good. Because there is a way to drive good enough to where you can basically use also like dominate the race, even like very, very early on and stuff that. So yeah, the brake balance is definitely doing a lot of difference, but it's also like the tires themselves and stuff that. Now the question is, how long are they going to last? Are they going to last the same amount as the fuel? And am I going to have to, that was really bad. It's the worst thing if you crash in there because you lose a lot of time on that. If we do that too many times, then we won't be able to get the podium position. You saw how many positions we lost there. That was really bad. Okay. We are going up again in positions here, but we should have been able to go way higher here. Okay. We're 6th at least now with this, but yeah. Yeah, this seems way better. Like the car is way more balanced with having the brake balance set to that. You know. Now, we'll say this right in Gran Turismo, like I think that there's a lot of things they could do to like fix 7 or make it like better and stuff that. Like, sure, there are like, yes, I don't mind there being like super expensive cars, but the fact that, for example, like, yeah, this is the best race to kind of grind. There are like easier races technically that you can grind with other cars. But I definitely still feel like, why couldn't there be an endurance race, for example, like sure, this is not an endurance race and it gives you a very good reward, but yeah, but trying to get a clean race on this can be very annoying. And usually when you see them do a clean race, for example, people say that, oh, you can do this with this Lamborghini and stuff that. So that is true, but only if you really short shift with the Lamborghini and then like change the settings on it and stuff that, yeah. Also, I think that it should be way easier just to see what cars have like multi swaps and other things, right? That they should just be like, as I said before, like you should be able to see what cars have beaten like a certain challenge or whatever, and then you should just be able to buy said car, for example, and like buy it with the same settings as they were using. Okay, we're third place now. Fuck your Biden, no, fuck your Biden. Yeah, I don't know why I think that on it just fitted so well with the music and stuff that, because they always come up with stupid songs and stuff that, you know. So this is definitely be more sparing on the tires and stuff that, you know. The reason is also like with the brake balance, right? Because I'm putting all the weight on the behind here. You can basically not change it by the way that it's fixed, basically the weight being all in the back and stuff that, yeah. Did we change this, by the way? Yeah, we changed section control to 2. Okay. Because I mean, if we can run with lean 6 all the way basically and stuff that, and that is really good. Okay. Yeah, now it's no problem. Here's the thing, right? The cars that they're using, they're actually having higher PP than 600. They're not following the rules themselves. Pretty certain. So yeah, we can still reach very high speeds here. Not passing yellow, good. Basically, because the goal is basically you build up enough. But we actually managed to do that break there in time. Because I mean, if the tires last long enough, then that's going to be really good if the tires can last until we do the pit stop. And the thing is, of course, that if we build up the distance, right, if we build up enough distance, by the way, to the second place, keep in mind that Gallo is going to go into the pit earlier as well. No, I think that they should basically, like, for example, like, I don't mind their roulette system in this and stuff that sometimes has balls and stuff that, because yeah, there's a lot of good cars you can receive sometimes, because people will say, oh, they shouldn't have like the roulette tickets and all, which feels like extremely stupid and stuff that. Because then, like, right, like if they were like, yeah, sure, you can earn certain cars for example, for getting gold on all license tests. But I also think when it comes to license tests, for example, there should always be a reward for getting all silvers, as well as giving a car for getting all silvers and all golds, so on and so forth. And I think the same should be true for circuit experience also, that there should always be a reward for getting silver as well. And I do think that they should make the rewards easier, at least if you're not a controller, so that, for example, like the timer that you would need to beat would be different if you're running automatic and stuff like that, you know. Maybe that was too early of a break there, so yeah. Could have broken a bit later, but yeah. Supposedly the braking zone should actually reflect the car you're using, but that doesn't seem to be true at all. And stuff that, because, you know, because here's the thing, right? If they made auto drive better, for example, and stuff that, and it got adjusted depending on the car you're using, so that you don't like overbrake or whatever, or stop braking like way too earlier than you need with a car and stuff that, then, you know, it would be a lot greater. So we can almost get 3 more laps with this. This would be, of course, absolutely insane, by the way. So I mean, if that means that we're getting like, well, what, like 5, 6, 7, 8. If we pit on like lap 8. Then like that's going to be really good, but yeah, I actually like a lot of the Tokyo tracks because there's a lot of variations to them and stuff that. Oh yes, you can do like custom races and stuff that against like AI opponents, but I feel like you should be able to actually create your own like endurance races and actually have them be properly paid out from actual endurance races. Yes, you can select endurance races the option, but then it has nothing to do with laps. It has to do with a timer, so you can set it to 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, so on and so forth. Like, why not have, for example, then, like, this ring track have like 50 laps and have the reward be something like 500,000 or for like 200 laps or something like that. Or maybe it should be even higher. The Gallo already pitted. Okay, so we should be able to get 2 more laps. That's 7, 8 needs, so yeah. Because if we gain enough distance now, and yeah, you can say that oh, this is such a big difference, yeah, because the sports softs are really good. Now the funny thing is, when it comes to traction control, right, and like our track being wet, if you're using racing tires, for example, it's a lot worse. For example, which is why the sports softs are really good and stuff like that, you know. And like, I don't mind the races quote unquote being harder and stuff like that, but then there should always be the whole option of you should just be able to overgear something. Same thing for the really hard GR3 races, for example, like the Mount Panorama GR3 race, for example, is like really hard, because the AI definitely cheats in that, because if the AI gains any distance from you, they are basically impossible to catch. It seems like it's basically some sort of speed boost that they get when they get far enough away from you and stuff like that. Or it feels like really bad, like why have it designed like that? Stuff like that. And then is it meant to be a race where on this race you have to use a steering wheel or whatever, because that seems really bad. And I can understand from a marketing purpose that they want to sell steering wheels, especially since, you know, Logitech is making the Gran Turismo official like steering wheels and stuff like that. But that feels like a really bad thing and stuff like that. Because, you know, Gran Turismo should be accessible and stuff like that. Pretty much all, but the old games were so hard. except they weren't, you know, and stuff. That's so we can make one more lap, yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, the tires is definitely gonna do it and stuff that. Like even though we have put all the braking force on the front tires, you can still see the back tires are just wearing out way too quick and stuff that. And that is with changed brake balance, of course, to the front. Basically. So I am going to change the tires when we go in, basically, as well. And right, and this is actually based on a real thing, by the way, because the Volvo 240 is an actual like drag racing car, like the state model that people have put like a shit ton of horsepower in Volvos to use them for drag racing and stuff that, you know, it makes sense. Except I feel like the wing is not correct. We should be able to put away bigger wing and have the wing be like further down as well. Yeah. And I also think it's stupid on certain cars, like why not have the thing so that instead of like, sure, there are certain things that you can receive as free parts, but why not have it so that you can get like all the weight reductions on all the cars? Like you should always be able to get the highest weight reduction, and every car should at least have the option to either get, or something should either be naturally inspired and then have some sort of thing that you're able to get for it. So we're gonna go in, change to super softs again. I don't know if that's gonna be correct again. If it's only gonna require that little of fuel. Because this would be really bad if I get the fuel for that amount and then I'm going full because I want to see how much I have left after that. Okay, I came out of second place. That's actually very good, by the way. Keep in mind that Cocoburn has not even pitted yet. Tsunama ser ho sama jämpa. Whatever. I wonder if this is actually Zulu music or whatever. That's the African thing, that's Zulu, I think. Yeah, and imagine also, for example, if they added the old tracks, for example, and yeah, make paid DLC. Like add all tracks from Gran Turismo 2. Add all the tracks from Gran Turismo 3, right? Make it paid DLC and stuff that, because I would definitely be willing to get, you know, get the whole Gran Turismo 3 soundtrack and be able to select those songs, stuff that. And I should definitely say this, if they don't want to make certain races easier or make it so that like you can beat them easier and stuff that, then make it so that you can have B-spec again, or that you can drive. And maybe you could have like Sophie drive for it. If they want to be serious about pushing Sophie, as oh this is amazing and stuff that, why not let Sophie drive for you and stuff that, you know. And then maybe even have like speed ups and stuff that, because imagine right being able to do this race and then put like say 10 times speed or 4 times speed. I forgot what the speed was in Gran Turismo 4, because that was the first time you had B-spec. And then of course in Gran Turismo 5 they improved it even more and stuff that, yeah. Cocoburn went in, that was good. So here's the thing, right? Right. Imagine if something like this, instead of use the 550,000, imagine if time you beat this, you could have like a roulette ticket and you could earn like several different cars or whatever, right? And maybe, for example, just have it so that you can earn like that you stop like, or that, for example, the cars that you earn are only from a specific list or whatever. Because I would definitely say that if certain races had that as a ball at the very end or whatever, you know, that would be really good. But I would just say also, like, just have like a car as an award or some sort of roulette thing where there are several cars that you could earn. For example, for completing like, completing like a single cup, like do all the races within a certain cup and you can receive a certain thing. But then how would you earn that reward again or whatever, you know, is the question then. So, yeah. Because there are some technically some endurance missions, but those, quote unquote, often require very specific cars. I believe the reward you can only earn once. Stuff that, which is also like a really, really bad decision and stuff that. During those mission races, you cannot listen to any music, which is also very, very old, in my opinion. The gallery is of course going to need to pit again as well. So, yeah. Back here. Now there are actually some people that, like, I know that there is a certain driver that's extremely good at this game that are actually using control, but not only that. Like, certain drivers have learned exactly where on the map to use as a cue for when they need to brake and stuff like that. And of course it changes depending on the car you're using and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, I went in again. Something, of course. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to lap. I mean, yeah, we are. We're gonna lap some drives at least if we keep this up. So yeah, definitely going with the soft sports are definitely the way to go. Stuff that. Because if we're gonna need to do one pit stop anyway, then it's like a really, really good set. I know that there is technically strats also with there are things you can do. I don't know if that car can technically be used for this. It would actually be really cool if you if you could get the Red Bull car to work here and stuff that. I'm gonna try and look into that actually. Is it possible to get into 600 pp, which I very, very much doubt. Stuff that. Also in the cars, of course, that you can do a lot of things to. You can add weight, you can restrict power, you can restrict the horsepower as well, you know. Okay, so this is the first overtake, this is the last place, so this should be 12th place, or 16th place rather. Okay. We were able to get a 2-0 forward here, which is actually really good as well. I could change my TCS if I want to, but it's not necessary. I mean, this is part 2, by the way, of the Xenoxis show, 30th of July 2025. So, yeah. We're actually getting pretty cold now during the night and stuff that, which is very, very nice. You know, hopefully we can avoid a super hot August and stuff that, you know, because yeah, we still haven't gotten my favorite song yet, which is weird. Stuff that. I kind of wish also when it comes to the song like this, you would have something like in Smash. In Smash, you can like prioritize certain songs that have a higher chance to appear. So for example, if you have a playlist, you can make certain songs more weighted to show up more often and stuff that's good. start the headman's curve. Volvo, det rullar! It's pretty funny because there's no race on track. Well, technically that's not true anymore. They did actually make a race or a few races on a certain track that races on that you should be able to drive on a certain track. And you know what track I'm on. Keep in mind, right, also that for example, when they say, for example, that okay, like with sports tires, the maximum you should have is something on that specific balancing, right? That should only be with sports soft or whatever. Like you shouldn't have that. For example, if you're using like comfort hards, you shouldn't have 1.5 even. That's actually really bad. Imagine if I had like clean race bars there, now I ruined it because I went like bad. Anyway, so a little bit over 26 minutes for the race, which I mean is okay. That's decent. Almost a minute. Yeah, that was because the engine was hurt there. First place. That's how we do it. I see 550,000. Is there anything else we can afford with that? That I want to specifically get. I know I could get a Mercedes now, but so that's 6.7 million, 2.8 million. I have that. The McLaren is actually very nice. 2.1 million. 20 million. That's a GT500 car. I'm curious. So, do you have any? Wait, I want to check first. Yeah, there's no motor swaps. That would actually be fun if there could be. Okay. So ultimate is nothing. Okay, not supercharger. Power stick då. Bara. Okay, we can get it to 803 with that. Now is that the default? 1000, 1400, okay? 1000, 1400. Okay. So lowest I can get is to 3.50 for the natural frequency. So it's not made at all to be with bad tires. 310 is the default here. Rear. Now that's make it more points. Okay, so now 27. Power stick door. Is that gonna increase it? Or that decreases the performance points? Just putting these to 800 decrease. Yes. So that is 7. 663. Wait, is this 657? Okay, that's an improvement. Can we actually? So close. So close, man. But does this like affect? No, that's okay. Wait. No, that's still the same. I can't go worse tires than that. Or can I? Intermediates. Intermediates. Oh, that's actually better. Heavyweights. I was hoping that those tires were actually going to be worse. No, is there anything else? Is the ballast positioning low? Is it 649? 612. It's not a case of. Okay. Is that worse? No. Okay, so that's 618. Wait. Okay. And this could have been so good. None of those changes, right? Anything. So 612. If I decrease this, does that 685? If I do this, does that change the points? No, it does not. Inte relevant further. We're so close to almost having it. Alright, it has the balancing here. $608 there. 626. Let's continue on. Can we get it lower than that? Or this just keep increasing it here? Because sometimes there are certain points when it jumps because it causes a certain imbalance to happen at certain values sometimes. Because can we get it lower than 608 is the question. It would be pretty funny if the opposite happens here now. So, what was it? It was at 608 at one point. $626. Okay. Oh man, if there was something else. But why only have it set to 70? Like, why not give it lower? Because, I mean, if I could go down to 60, then that would have been good. And stuff that. Yeah, I used to have that. I mean, there are some fun mood swaps we haven't done yet. Probably. I'm trying to remember some of the insane ones that you can do. I know there are some for certain weak cars. There are some pretty insane things. I'm trying to think what car it was for though. Not yet, Barth. I do, because I mean I did see that video and stuff that, so I should remember what car it was in. Samba Bus I do remember was something pretty insane that you could do. The Alpha Rad could of course also get a shit ton of horsepower as well. But those weren't the worst in that test that he did. was it? I'm trying to remember. I mean, I think this one, the Fiat one, could was something also you could get a shit ton of horsepower in, or whatever. I'm trying to remember because I'm pretty certain that I have the car that I used. One of them was a Mazda. I remember one of them was a Mazda. I think it was an RX something. Was it that one? I don't remember which Mazda it was. But I know he didn't end up using the Mazda. It was another car that he ended up using. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Because it was that you put in an engine for like, what was it? There was one car where you put in one of those like LMP engines in, which was absolutely insane, by the way. I remember that was a thing. Was that a Nismo car? It's the question, because I know that there are certain it's not easy when you're trying to remember, okay, like what car was it, you know, and stuff like that, because yeah. There's this guy down there. I mean, I do have a fair lady here with like over 1,000 horses or whatever. I'm sure these cars are faster or anything, but they can't beat the whole thing. So that even though you think that, oh, they weigh less than this car, so they should have an easy time, because, you know, it is on the skyline there that I put something pretty good in. Alright, isn't there a Lance? So that's also, yeah, I do have a Lance Evolution final with a lot. What is that in terms of points? Okay. And I have high RPM. So we would need to set this to 145 and I'm curious though. Yeah, because there's no ultra on this one. No. There's now more introduction. 575, okay, so comfort hearts. That's pretty insane if this card could actually work. Can I make it look cooler though? I mean, that's cool and everything, but I think this one looks more correct actually, can. That actually looks better in my opinion. Let's see how this goes. Because I would love to find an alternative to use on the Tokyo 600, and if we can use like a 4-wheel drive, that could be very, very big. Okay, so that's set on the maximum there, but again, brake control set that to front. Yeah, 50-50 gears, the 4-wheel drive thing. Okay, let's see how this goes. I'm putting it down to 1 just to see if that is doable. Why did the distribution change? Ah. Where's that setting? Where's the torque? Okay, good. Why did it have to change the torque setting there? I mean, if this is true at this, like I'm using calculator one here. It then set to 5,000 pound. I definitely can feel that the car feels like super heavy, but that's just because of the comfort tires. Now theoretically you could probably like make the car weaker and stuff that, or put more weight in or whatever, right, and then use better tires. Certain cars, even when you give them a lot of power, sometimes it's not enough, of course. Because I know I screwed up in the beginning there because I really wanted it to be like the default four-wheel drive. Probably should have changed stuff on the cars, yeah. I just want to test a bit. This is more to test because I'm not going to finish the race whatever, right, if the settings aren't good enough. I mean, we can definitely beat some pretty decent speeds. It feels like. Yeah, the turn radius is really bad as well. But I definitely think if we maybe, like, the main problem is of course is that this torque distribution here was changed for whatever reason. The question is how quick can we reach here in speed in comparison to the Volvo. Okay. But this one is definitely more balanced than a car. That actually makes it still doable in my opinion. Yeah, because I mean also the fact that we don't need to lessen our power either and stuff that can make it very doable. So maybe turn off the TCS. We'll see how that goes if I turn that off. Now it's my favorite song in the game. When we don't need 10 in volume, we need just 9 in volume. There we go. Yeah, it's really bad in these corners and stuff like that, but yeah. But it might be actually worth like either putting more weight in so you can like use better tires and basic things, yeah. Illusions of all the past. Routines. Maybe I have it set too high on this one and stuff that maybe setting it to 300 will be enough. Because setting it to 300 might make you think, oh, it will have only 300 in top speed, but that's actually not how it works. Game 4. Så verkligen att Xenoxis episode. Of course, keep in mind if you can do this many like laps. If we can do this many laps, then without pitting, then it should give us a big advantage. It's just that they are faster than me in a lot of locations. No, I'm curious also, the Scudo, the thing is, Scudo had a very interesting mock swap by the way, which I've done, which is actually a weaker, making it more similar to the thing that's not on a Scudo, that was in Gran Turismo 2. I forgot what it was called, because it was not a Scudo, it was like a cheaper version, or whatever. I mean, it had the same price, I think. But yeah, that was really cool. I mean, Gran Turismo 2 has some really cool vehicles, and it's just sad seeing how many cars are missing. And I can understand why it's like, here's the thing, right? In Gran Turismo 5, I had no problem certain cars being premium and certain cars not being premium. And here's the thing, right? If they could give us way more cars, if they were like less detailed or whatever, right? Because here's the thing, right? Like, so like a lot of cars have like an interior view, but if there would be cars that wouldn't have an interior view, but you would still have like this cam here, then that I think would be good enough. The problem is I'm always getting past here and stuff that, like, even if I drive like really quick on the straight, it's not enough basically, and stuff that is what it really feels like, which feels like really bad, by the way. That is way too early of a brake, so why does the brake center not match up at all? That is the weird part. Like, maybe the gearbox is set a bit too bad. Like, I could probably turn it down. Because that would improve my acceleration, of course. But how did they get such a big lead here? That feels so weird, because sometimes it feels like they drive way quicker when you're using certain cars than others. Yeah, this is definitely probably that this accelerates slower, I guess, than the other one. But sometimes also the traction control sometimes actually allows you to drive fast, sometimes as well, so yeah. Hopefully, of course, the fact that we can wait a long time before we need to draw pit. And not only that, right, the fact that we can wait a long time before doing our pit, the fact that our tires are not being consumed at all is also very powerful. And yeah, I am gonna be doing a part 3 as well, by the way. So. I mean, it would be good if we could figure out other cars that could work as well and stuff like that. And I definitely think that nerfing the horsepower used a little bit or adding more weight could probably do it and stuff like that. Because yeah. Because I mean, if we could even get to like comfort softs, would be a big difference and stuff like that as well. And the best would be, of course, if we could get to, say, like comfort, you know, or sport soft as well. Of course, as it gets drier the stage, like, things should be easier. Because my best time is still on the 218 if you compare to the 205 that we could get with like the other car, 206, 205.